Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne. I got a video for that Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Today's video: are some, not all, but are some VA employees committing fraud, waste, or abuse, right? When they schedule a veteran for a compensation and pension exam, when that veteran has submitted an actionable and sufficient DBQ. In today's video, I'm going to break it down for you. All right, everyone, before I get into today's video, you know this is a topic that I talked about in 2023, 2024, and guess what? I'm going to be talking about it more in 2025. VA employees, some, not all, requesting CMP exams when a veteran has submitted an actionable and sufficient DBQ, which means no CMP exam is necessary. So in this case, we must ask ourselves the question: is that VA employee committing fraud, waste, or abuse? Which one do you think they're committing? I'm going to give you my answer at the end of this video, but as I go through and show you some slides, yes, I got some slides. I know some of you probably like, hey, is he going to show us any more slides in 2025? Most certainly, all right? So I got some slides, but as I go through these slides, start thinking of your answer and leave me a comment. If a VA employee does this, do you think they're committing fraud, waste, or abuse? So let's go ahead and get into it. Slide number one. Here in slide number one, you can see this is 38 CFR 3.326, okay, subpart A, B, and C. And I have B and C highlighted in red. But in B, what does it say? Provided that it is otherwise adequate for rating purposes, any hospital report or any examination report, that's a DBQ, from any government or private institution, that means private examiners, may be accepted for rating a claim without future examination. How do VA, some, not all, VA employees miss this? Okay. Now, subpart C, provided that it is otherwise adequate for rating purposes, a statement from a private physician may be accepted for rating a claim without further examination. Most VA employees are blowing right over this and scheduling that exam when the veteran submits an actionable and sufficient DBQ. Now, back in May 2022, the VA awarded a contract to the company QTC for $1.7 billion. Yes, with a B, billion. I think it was May 2022 to do CMP exams. And about a year later, I started noticing that I was like, wait a minute. A lot of the employees are just scheduling exams and ignoring the veteran's private DBQ. Now, when I rated, the VA had, right before I retired, they had awarded contracts to third-party companies. So, you know, it's nothing for these companies to get awarded these contracts. So this video is not about these companies. I have nothing negative to say about these companies. Some veterans like them, some don't, you know, just depending on the examiner they get. But let's keep going. Slide number 2. Now, this is the OIG's website. I took this from their website, okay? It says contact the OIG hotline. The OIG hotline receives, screens, and determines the disposition of complaints concerning veterans or VA that relate to potentially unlawful activity or potential violations, keyword, or potential violations of rules or regulations. I just showed you a regulation. Fraud, waste, and abuse and gross mismanagement of VA programs and operations. Now, DBQs, veterans can go to the VA's website, download them, and take them to their private examiner. And one thing I tell veterans, make sure if you do this, know what you're doing and make sure that examiner is being truthful on that DBQ. Okay, that's very important. Very important. If a company out there is doing a DBQ for you and they're trying to get you 100% for PTSD and you only warrant maybe a 50 or 70, don't do it. Make sure they are honest. So you got to ask yourself, I'm gonna ask you, the person that's watching this video, this question. When VA employees request a CMP exam, when there's an actionable and sufficient DBQ, are they committing fraud, waste, and abuse and gross mismanagement of VA programs and operations, violations of rules or regulations? I just showed you a regulation. Are they in violation of that regulation when they do that? Yes. So let me know if it's considered, if you could feel if it's considered fraud, waste, and abuse, and don't worry about it. At the end, I'm going to share my answer. Okay. Now down below it says VA employees who contact the OIG hotline may provide the OIG with medical records and other VA records without violating the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Okay, HIPAA. Now, the reason why I highlighted that, they can report you, veteran. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you, be honest. When you have that examiner to complete that DBQ, make sure they are honest because they're signing it and they're submitting it to the VA based off the information you gave them. Again, if they're trying to inflate it, your percentage, don't do it. Just don't do it, okay? Let's keep going. Slide number 3. Now, I went to the VA's website, and this is the link to the VA's website for the DBQs, okay? So some VA employees, they'll say, the veteran will go to high-level review, and the DRO will say, well, we wanted you to see our doctor. Why? And the number one question of the veteran does not ask that DRO. Well, DRO, if you want me to go see your doctor and I got an actionable and sufficient DBQ, one, what makes my DBQ insufficient? What section of this DBQ and nexus is insufficient? Veterans are not asking that question. And secondly, the second question, can you answer this, decision review officer? Why does the VA have DBQs on the website and you couldn't give me an answer as why my DBQ was insufficient? I'm going to say that again. Why do the VA have DBQs on their website? And the first question I just asked you was, tell me how my DBQ and nexus is insufficient. And you couldn't do it. The VA is saying right here, you can, the regulation I showed you, 38 CFR 3.326, subpart B and subpart C, basically saying these DBQs that I'm showing you can be completed by your private doctor. So why are VA employees ignoring them? Is it fraud, waste, or abuse? Let's keep going. Final slide, slide number 4. Now, this is the rest of the VA website. I couldn't put it all on one page, and I couldn't get the rest of it. This is just part of the DBQs, okay? So you go out to the VA's website, print out a DBQ, and have your private doctor complete it. Now, you heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. If you're completing any VA document, go to the VA's website. Do not download it from anybody. If an examiner is saying, hey, Mr. or Miss Veteran, don't worry about it. I got the DBQs. You want to make sure you have the most up-to-date DBQ. If you got an outdated DBQ, that DBQ is insufficient. Okay, so you're going to hear me talk about this a lot in 2025. I may even do some videos about what makes a DBQ insufficient. And this is training that I learned at the VA, okay? So this is the VA's website. You can go to their website, download these DBQs. And I just gave you a couple of questions if you decide to go to a high-level review. All right. What is my answer? If the VA employee requests a CMP exam, when a veteran has an actionable and sufficient DBQ and nexus statement, is it fraud, waste, or or abuse. In my opinion, is waste. You're wasting the VA's time, resources, and money. And that VA employee is adding to that backlog of claims. Because when I rate it, if a veteran submitted an actionable and sufficient DBQ, for increase, secondary, direct service connection, or whatever, I'm making sure I verify the information as it pertains to the 38 CFR. Is it sufficient? Is there a diagnosis? What evidence was reviewed? Did the examiner sign off? Was the veteran service connected? Is this for increase or whatever? If it is, I'm not going to waste the veteran's time and the VA's time and money and resources scheduling that C&P exam. So in my opinion, it's just my opinion, I want you to tell me your opinion based off the information I gave you. Is it fraud, waste, of abuse? In my opinion, it is a waste of not only resources, time, and money. I just broke it down for you. Okay? So these are things, as veterans, we have to know this stuff, because I've talked to a lot of veterans. A lot of veterans email me, they call me, they do one-on-ones, and they're like, Dwayne, I saw your video where you talked about this regulation. I had a high-level review. I talked to the DRO, and they just totally ignored everything. Okay? And they will start, some of them have actually lied to veterans. Veterans have said, well, they didn't know about that regulation. They didn't know about this. They didn't know about that. Okay? So I just showed you the OIG's website where they explain it. Okay? Mismanagement. It is a waste of the VA's time, money, and resources. So leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know, what do you think? Which one of the three, or maybe all? And leave me an explanation, okay? Mine, again, is waste. Now you know, okay? And good luck going forward with your VA compensation claim. And with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and as always, share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.